Hey, this is Eve, author of Detox with Ease. Detox your body, purify your life, feel great, look great, and be great. Eve Hennessy, Amazon.com. You have to actually type in my last name in order to find the book, which is hard to spell. Let's see. Eve Hennessy is a fine artist and dancer who became ill with multiple chemical sensitivity. In the years it took her to recover, she became a lay expert in detox and healing. She's been helping people learn how to reduce toxins by 90% and increase the body's ability to detox and heal itself. A firm believer that a little education and easy changes are the way to well-being. Oh, when I had a testimony of somebody who lost 40 pounds and feels better than ever. So detoxing is not just for getting well, it's for feeling great. It's for having your body work efficiently so it's not all clogged up with toxins and food and hormones and issues. I just wanted to talk really for a second about how to get well if you are broke. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, the bell button, and all. That way you get notifications when I come on, and you're free to ask me any question in the chat. So I had a multiple chemical sensitivity 10 years ago, and for what I understood at the time was that it was like a very incurable illness that had permanent organ damage as part of the issues of it. So that was depressing, but I'm very stubborn, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna heal this, you know. And it took me like a couple of years, frankly, to just be not really sick. And then it took several more years, it progressively getting better and better until now it's really non-existent for some time. I mean, I've gone years with no reaction to a chemical. That's a long time. And so here's the thing, though, which is very upsetting, and one reason why I started my channel and everything to help people is that when you're really sick and you're broke, I mean, a lot of people who are sick are broke because, for one, you're not working, for two, you're tired, for three, you already spent so much money. When you have chemical sensitivity, you've spent so much money on changing your furniture, changing your clothes, changing all of your products, changing your food, getting some supplements just to begin with. And so it's very expensive because actually when you have chemical sensitivity, you have to get everything special. Like I wouldn't even eat out of plastic back then. You know, now I can buy like the cheaper stuff in plastic. Although I would, you know, the other stuff is better, but it's so much more inexpensive to buy a little bit cheaper stuff. But only organic, only, you know, all the stuff, because all the chemicals were really making me quite sick. So, but you know what I did notice is that a lot of the things that were the most helpful were things that were actually free of charge or almost free. And one of the very confusing things when you get chemical sensitivity or any illness that we're just used to having, like, oh, where's the doctor that's going to fix me? A lot of people spend a lot of money going to naturopaths, or there used to be this famous doctor in Texas, Dr. Rhea. He think he passed away. I don't know if his institute is still there. But these were very expensive, where you spend like $10,000 a month, a week, to go get everything tested. And there's so many people in our communities online who are like, oh, I got my hair tested and I have heavy metals, or I need to get tested. Do I have this? Do I have that? And then even more upsetting and frightening is that we feel like I need to move to another house because I can't live here. Many people that have chemical sensitivity they have to move out into like way out into the desert, you know, 100 miles from the nearest road, because just the exhaust from any road is going to give them reactions and make them quite sick. So I felt like that. Like literally I couldn't stay in my house back when I was most worst sick. It was the middle of the winter, and I almost went out and slept in the park. My friends are all like, what's wrong with you? You're completely crazy. But they did not know how everything was affecting me. And I needed to just always be in fresh air all the time. I always felt like I was like suffocating. Everything would be bothering me. I don't know what chemicals in my house. I think there was something going on with my heating system. But even that year, I turned off all of my heaters and kept all the windows open. No, there's this one heater here that stays on. They still are off. Well, that's not true. Now I have like half of them on. And then, but also I cleaned them out. There was some stuff in there. I'm not sure if there's lead paint on those radiators, frankly. But so that's a big part of the problem. Is like, okay, how am I going to move to a safe place that's non-toxic? How am I going to get all of my mercury fillings out? How am I going to get a colonics? You know, how am I going to do all of this stuff? Because it just costs more and more and more money. You could spend $1 million, you know, healing from multiple chemical sensitivity, you know, buying a house, getting the right doctors and stuff. I went to go to one doctor once, but I talked to her on the phone and she just wanted to give me some allergy shots or something. And it was just too much money. I didn't have the money. It was like $100 a visit and I did not have that. So, but what I did notice is that a lot of the things that make you well are the cheapest things, or they are free. And the reason that you never hear about them is just because the way society works is all about marketing. So if I'm not going to make a bunch of money selling you something, I really can't afford to get on here and, you know, spend all my time trying to convince you that this thing is going to help you, right? Like, I think baking soda could possibly heal a lot of illnesses. I haven't. Okay, that's one of my one things. So it's called, you can alkalize the body. So if you have those pH strips and then you pee on them or put them under your tongue, test your saliva. Usually when we're sick or not feeling well for any reason, we are in an acidic state. So when you use a baking soda, you like immediately alkalize your body. Like if you don't feel good for any reason, put like a pinch of baking soda under your tongue. I'm saying like usually you're going to feel better if you're having a reaction, anything like, because the acidic process is part of not being well. And there's this guy's name is Vernon, and his website's called pH Kills Cancer. So it was of these people who were saying that baking soda can cure cancer. So a lot of the reason for this is that they think cancer is a fungus and that baking soda neutralizes fungus. Well, if you'll also notice that baking soda neutralizes toxins. In my dance studio, they bought new rugs, and I was like, oh my gosh, these rugs are so toxic, you know, like you got to do something, wash them something. And what they ended up doing was putting baking soda on them. And then I come in the next week, I can't smell it. So baking soda has this amazing ability to neutralize toxins, to kill molds, this, that, and the other. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not saying, you know, use a bunch of baking soda, but I mean, you can Google it for, you know, a long time, as I did. And it is supposedly you can overdo it, but, you know, that's with anything. So if you go to that pH Kills Cancer, you'll see these protocols that they did for healing cancer. And so I used to do it now and again. I would never do like the whole protocol because I would get bored because I wasn't actually dying. So I wasn't that motivated. But, you know, I would do the baking soda protocol, try to get my pH bumped up to like 8 for a few days in a row, because that's your body is super oxygenating and it's just killing all these microbes and stuff. But you know what, when you do Wim Hof breathing, which I do every day at noon Eastern time in my program, I think it's in the links. I do 8-minute abs, teach dance and do Wim Hof and different kind of meditations in my program. It's only $14 a month. Sign up. And it's Zoom. And if you don't show up for like 3 or 4 days, I'll call and make sure you're okay. So everyone is successful in the program, except for only one person once wasn't, but everyone else is. So the Wim Hof breathing also totally oxygenates your body. So that's another free thing. You can do this breathing. You can just like look up Wim Hof videos. You can do it for free. Grounding in nature, totally healing. I do believe, I attribute that with like 50% of my healing, because I would, whenever I didn't feel good, I would go out and I would just take my shoes off in nature. Even in the winter, that's how I was. I did some sun gazing too. I didn't do it a lot, and I did the minimal amount, which I even though I watched, you know, all the documentaries and read all of the data, you know, some people are looking at the sun all the time. I didn't really feel like you should overdo that. I did a little bit. I did get some sun back then when I was sick, because it really helped a lot. Then I overdid the sun like 2 years ago, so that I did overdo it. I can notice it on my skin. So baking soda, grounding, breathing, meditation, yoga. Just even you can use your own brain to heal your body. I mean, I've done a lot of experimenting with that. I've literally healed not only, multiple chemical sensitivity, but other also incurable conditions. And I actually had dysthymic depression for like 20 years. That when I healed a chemical sensitivity, I noticed one day it was gone. So that was amazing. Because when you heal one thing, you heal another, and your body and your brain have amazing powers of regeneration. So I'd a lot use my brain. I'd use visualization. I'd imagine myself feeling amazing in the future and being able to dance and do all this stuff like I used to do before I was sick. And when I was sick, I literally couldn't go anywhere for like a long time, a year or 2 or 3. It was just awful. Can't go anywhere because there's always, wherever you go, there's going to be a toxin. And only people with chemical sensitivity know this. There's no way to explain this to somebody who doesn't have it because they can't smell it, they can't see it. It doesn't make them sick. But for us, literally, if you smell somebody's perfume, it's like somebody spraying Raid in your face because we're hypersensitive, and that's just how it is. So it's a really super hard illness. And so how else can you get well if you are broke? So use your mind. Joe Dispenza has amazing meditations. I use that a lot. He talks a lot on YouTube on how to heal the body with your mind. Him and Bruce Lipton and who's that other guy? Greg Braden. I ran into him in Mexico in a gift shop. When you're sick and you're desperate, you will try this stuff. I did, and I got well. So also, anytime that you're relaxing, you're healing your body. Anytime you're meditating or doing yoga, you're healing your body, even if you don't make any connections or neural connections or all of these other amazing things that it does. You're getting into this parasympathetic state. As much as you can get into the parasympathetic state, the more healing you're going to get, because that's the healing, regenerative process of your body. You're very relaxed, and healing processes are going on, which is the exact opposite of stress. So just eliminating stress and getting in parasympathetic, your nervous system can probably, heal like 50% of an illness, I think. And then you can go further by like using your imagination, deep meditation, self-hypnosis, self-suggestion. You can do all that stuff. There's tons of them on YouTube. My friend who's a dancer, she's been having terrible back problems for years. She recently told me she was doing this sleep meditation or some meditation, and her back pain went away. So she was very happy about that because she suffered a lot with that back pain. So what else can you do? Baking soda, like lemon water is an amazing detox. A lot of the best detoxes are the natural things, and I do believe they are superior to the ones that you're going to buy. Because first of all, the ones you're going to buy, you don't know, just because it's your doctor. Your doctor could have, anyone could have sold that to them. You don't know unless you really know your doctor well. You don't know how much they've checked it out. You don't know where it came from. Even buying supplements on Amazon, I've bought 2 times bogus supplements on Amazon. You really need to buy them directly from the company. And also they're not, if you just read up and educate yourself, as I said in my book, like you can get so much more product. You can do these like coffee enemas or just even water enemas. That's going to heal a lot your digestive system. It's going to clean out a lot of yeast and toxins. So a lot of the healing process is actually doing stuff. Like we all just want to take that pill or have the doctor do all the tests and we don't do anything. But that's not really how healing works. Healing is more like you got to learn how to do stuff. You can learn how to do that enema. You have to go out in nature. You have to take that time to do that yoga. You have to learn how to motivate yourself to do that meditation. It's a lot of trial and error, and you might not like all kinds of yoga. You might not like all kinds of meditation, but you just keep trying until you find the ones you do like. Sometimes, even me, like I do a lot of meditation still, but like I'll notice, well, I don't like the tone of this person's voice, or this one talks too fast, or this one doesn't really get me in that great state that I'm looking for. So, and then somebody else could be the opposite. So we're all very individual, and we need to find what we like and what helps us. Just eating foods that have a lot of amazing high nutrients are good. So I was going to say, what I also used to do with supplements is just read what's in the package. You go to Whole Foods, detox, intestinal cleanse, and then you'll see it says like psyllium husk and bentonite clay. And then it'll have maybe some herbs, and it will cost like $35 for this little box. But for like $5, you can get a giant thing of psyllium husk, even organic. And another $5, you can get a big thing of bentonite. So if you're just a little more industrious and willing to do a little extra work, you can get your stuff very inexpensive. And these things, which are healing, that's clay. Psyllium husk is some kind of plant. There's an amazing healing thing for the digestive system too. It's called slippery elm. So you can buy pills like slippery elm bark. I don't know how much it would cost, like $20 for a little bottle, but you can buy a giant pound of it for like $10. Frontier brand is good because they don't irradiate their stuff, and it's organic. You can go online and get like a whole pound. Use it for like 2 years. So, and myself, I never could leave my house. I had to stay here. I did not have the money to move. I would have liked to have moved. A lot of people have mold in their house. A lot of people have a lot of issues in their house. I felt like my house was making me sick because I was sick here. I'm not really sure why I got sick, but when the heater was on in the winter, I would get really much more sick than in the summer. And then some people said maybe it was a humidity, so that could have been a factor. It didn't really make sense to me, so I didn't get the humidifier. But now that I understand more, I think it could have helped. But you just keep trying. Like I eventually got them to take out whatever that stuff was that was around the radiators. It was just some real old stuff. They're still painted. I'm sure it's probably lead paint. I mean, it's a very old building. I need to get it tested. But you know what I even do too in the winter? I have like a sheet that goes over it. It looks ugly, but I think it kind of folds back the whatever is in there. So, and you can get well with mercury. Like, here's the thing: a lot of people, when you start reading online, is people like, you have to get rid of your mercury and all of your root canals, or else you're never going to get well and you're going to die. This is not true. You don't even have to eat organic. If you can afford to eat organic, you don't have to. Although you can find the few things that is better. And I would really try to avoid hormones and foods. I mean, I would try to eat organic. Frankly, I would rather eat beans and rice organic than eat a whole bunch of other food. But that's me. But you know what? Your body can recover in any state. It's just that the recovery factors has to be more than the getting sick factors, right? So maybe like me living in my house with these radiators, those are making me sick, but they're not making everybody in my building sick. They just made me sick because I had a lot of factors that was making me sick. So if you just start chipping away at the sick factors, and then you start adding progressively to the wellness factors, like going outside, alkalizing your body, finding better water. I used to go to the spring and bring home water. That was good water. Now I just go get reverse osmosis water. Yeah, I mean, you're just progressively changing that. And maybe you just need to sleep a lot. Maybe for a year or something, you just need to sleep. Maybe, I was in a relationship with this guy, and he was like, anyway, I would notice I would get like a stomach ache a lot when he'd get grouchy. And then, we kind of separated apart because like my health, if you notice anything bad about your health when you're around someone, just try to be around them less, or also just make it clear, like, hey, I can't have this kind of discussion about this subject with you because it hurts my stomach, whatever. What else is free? Grounding in nature, going to the beach. When you're in the water, it's So some people have Lyme's and they're afraid to go out in nature, but you don't have to go out in the forest. You could just go sit on a rock. But even if you're touching the tree, you're touching the grounding force that goes into the earth. Or if you're sitting on a rock. I was a barefoot person. You know, it's embarrassing to be like going barefoot here and there, but I don't care. I like feeling good. Enema is amazing. I used to do that almost every day for like a couple of years. And even now, same thing. If I don't feel good for some reason now, I would still put some baking soda under my tongue and do enema, and then you're always going to feel better because it's really getting rid of tons of toxins and pathogens and alkalizing your body. So you just go right up to feeling good. You can also put the baking soda in water. It's just that after a while, I got tired of drinking it. So I don't like drinking baking soda anymore. That's one of the problems too with all these different protocols and things we do. Like one day we're just tired of it. You're like, oh, I can't drink that anymore. But you can figure out another way. Like you just put a little pinch under your tongue. It works amazing. What other things are free? Sunlight is free. I have to show you, watch my video on red light. I have this red light, which is the most amazing healing device. It is not free, but it's amazing. Totally. I really feel like it will. It puts energy in your body. It makes you feel great. And it's good for your blood. It's good for your lymphatic system. Regenerates collagen, reverses Alzheimer's, makes your skin younger. It's amazing. But see, this thing I got after I was well. I didn't really know about it before. I did used to go to the sauna. I used to go to the sauna at the gym. You know, it was a problem because there's always somebody in there with some kind of lotion that would, you know, make me react. But I'll like put a towel over my face and then use like essential oils, and you know, it was terrible. But I managed. So here's the thing: I managed, so you can manage. And even if you have mold in your house and you don't have money, I did have some mold. I would use a black light. My friend is a scientist. He's like, you can just use a black light bulb. People have refuted this, and I've looked it up. But so the ultraviolet light, so the blue light spectrum kills germs, like COVID and all that other stuff, by the way. Also kills mold. So the best thing for mold is sunlight and oxygen. You know, that's why when you're outside in the sun, there's no mold there. Mold is in dark, danky places. So you get some light in there on the mold. It's going to be better. You can do stuff like I would like spray. I always spray like baking soda in my house. I didn't have a huge problem, but I did have one at one point. But when you're really sick like that and you're studying every day, you're just like, how am I going to get well? Why am I so sick? So I would get into everything and I would try to remedy it or figure something out. You know, prayers, angels, you know, whatever you got to do, you can do. And I actually feel like, so there's a lot of people that, you know, they are into like, oh, I want to find out if I have heavy metal poisoning. I want to find out if I have this, that, you know, what's my liver enzymes? Do I have a vitamin D deficiency? I just always assumed that I had everything because I was so sick. And then I would just go to remedy it because it's great if you have that kind of money and you can get those tests, but they're not necessary. You know, like it can be very expensive just to tell you that you're sick and you already knew that. So I would just go at every kind of area and just assume, okay, I have heavy metal poisoning. I'm going to eat cilantro. Like cilantro is an amazing heavy metal detox. Coffee enema, amazing detox. Like just keep detoxing and keep nourishing the body, keep getting more calm, more peaceful, more parasympathetic nervous system. And then there's emotional healing like Louise Hay. So now everything's on YouTube. When I was sick, it wasn't like that. We didn't even hardly have any YouTube, did we? Oh yeah, I made some videos like pretty soon, but it was just the beginning of YouTube. So you can go on there and get anything. You can do healing meditations, and that will help your body to get into a healing state. You know, as long as you're going towards healing and away from sickness, that's good. You know, even when I was sick, I was still getting sicker for like a whole year, it seemed like. I'm not sure exactly of the time. But I was doing all of these enemas, this, that, and the other, and I was still getting sicker. So it's not like you can do an enema and some baking soda and some lemon water, eat some rosemary, eat some oregano, eat more vegetables, grounding, meditating, yoga. It's not like, okay, you're going to maybe start to get better the next day. Myself, I did not get better, and I didn't even begin to get better for a long time. In fact, I was still getting sicker for quite a long time. It was so scary and so awful. Like, I mean, you don't know, especially with this illness. It's just such a weird illness, and nobody even really believes that you have it. So it's not been tested, and it will be very hard to test, like, because it's such an odd, it's not a lot of people that have it. And of the people that have it, very few people are even believed. So how are they going to test and figure it out? And so I think it's like a very complex illness. I think it involves the nervous system, the brain, and then all of the organs. So, I mean, and I caught mine early, and I am a good healer. I tend to heal. I do exercise, workout. You got to work out is amazing. Join my 8-minute abs, because even just doing abs and crunches and this, you're actually detoxing your organs. You're tonifying your digestive tract and your muscles in there, and you're getting your blood pumping. It's really amazing. We just do this in 8 minutes a day. But doing all these healing things, not that everybody is able to do it. Some people, everybody starts where they're at. Some people, maybe you're sick and you're in bed, and the most you could do is just listen to pleasant music. Or, did I finish talking about the Louise Hay? She goes to the emotional reasons for healings. She healed her cancer a long time ago, and she looked to be quite an old woman. And she has a really super friendly voice. It used to irritate me when I was young. I used to listen to her when I was young. But now she's like, oh, you can help your life. And it's very healing. And, it's a healing journey. And she's great. And there's prayers, you have a church or a mosque or something, you can ask for the prayers of the people. I believe that prayers work. There's just, don't leave a stone unturned. If you can't afford to get all this stuff, which you can get all that stuff, and you can maybe just as easily not get well. And in fact, a lot of, what if I'd have done those, let's go belly dance. All right. Do you want to dance? That's funny. Yeah, come to my class. I teach belly dance. I'm starting a new one on Wednesday night. But yeah, I love belly dancing. Belly dancing is amazing. So healing. Okay. Yeah, let's belly dance. Then I have a class on Sunday. It's intermediate advanced, but anyone's willing to show up. And you'll just be a tiny square. I won't be able to see you. So, you won't be able to keep up probably if you're new, but you might get a lot out of it still. See, I live in a city. And not only that, I was EMF sensitive. I live in Washington, D.C., like right down the road from the White House. Do you know how many EMFs we have here? And right when I was not 100% well yet, they installed like 72 smart meters in my house, which I can hear it. I could hear it. So, that my philosophy was, okay, we're not going to stop the 5G. I don't really want to move out to the middle of nowhere, although I do, but you have to be able to afford it. So, luckily now, with my Bitcoin and everything, I'm kind of like looking into that as like a part-time, just to go relax the whole nervous system, because I can still feel all the electricity and stuff, but it doesn't give me a headache. It doesn't make my face red. It doesn't make me feel like super stressed out. Sorry, somebody comes in about belly dance. Yeah, I teach belly dance. It's the most amazing thing. Like, it's a full body massage, when you're doing it right. And that's why I teach it. And I also teach a little bit of energy, a little bit of chakras, this and that. And just beauty, and really like, connecting into this amazing place that every woman is an amazing belly dancer. And some men. Okay. I guess that's all I want to say. Put something in the comments, like, What's your biggest struggle? I mean, I know when I was sick, people would be like, you have to do this and you have to do that. And, it's a liver this and you have this gene and you're always going to be sick. Like people, they would just say all kinds of things. And, who knows who's right? I mean, I just know that I was sick. I got well. And I didn't do a lot of those things that a lot of, other people did. I did do that enema. I made some videos on it. I'm thinking of having like a group, maybe a private group, so we can discuss this, do like because I am actually doing a detox. I mean, I still have some issues with my intestinal tract and did have H. pylori. I mean, I do think I still have some issues, but they're not debilitating, thank God. But you definitely don't want to have any issues with your digestive tract. I mean, as far as I can tell, everyone has issues with their digestive tract. Yep. All right. So detox with ease. And that's a lot of my book is like, maybe you can't do this, but you can do that. But just focus on the things that you can do. And if there's a will, there's a way. And just keep trying something until you eventually get well. And you don't know even what it's going to be. I use the sauna like almost every day, do enemas almost every day, do grounding a lot. Now it's ridiculous. It sounds awful, but now I look back at those years like, oh, those years I was like a nature mystic, and I was just out in the woods having these mystic experiences. There was a lot of really good points in that time, because now I'm like busy. I could go anywhere and do anything. Yeah, I mean, COVID, when you've had a really serious illness, COVID is really not, it's not that scary. All right. Have a great day. Smash the likes. Take care. Ciao.